We have some huge updates surrounding recruiting and transfers under Brian Harsin. I take 1 week off and the news just starts pouring in. First up, let's talk about transfer Demetric Robertson. Initially, he went to California as a 5-star recruit. He was actually the #1 wide receiver recruit in the country. During his initial season, his freshman season at Cal, he had just an absolutely explosive year. The stats I'm looking at, he had 50 receptions, 767 yards, 7 touchdowns with a long catch of 61 yards. Unfortunately, due to injuries, his season ended in 2017, and he ended up transferring to UGA. And once he did transfer to Georgia, he never really had the chance to be that #1 or #2 wide receiver, so we never truly got to see what he could do in that position in the SEC. Due to what happened at Auburn last season, we had a mass exodus of wide receivers. We lost all 3 of our starters. This is a much welcomed addition to the team. Yes, he was once the #1 wide receiver in the country, but he did not show that much at Georgia. He is a veteran wide receiver, so I do expect him to make an immediate impact. And what he will do and what he will add to the team is that he's going to add depth, he's going to add experience, and he's going to push the current wide receivers we have to be better than they currently are. He will push them to be the best they possibly can be, because they will all be competing for those starting positions. This is where Auburn steps in. I have no doubt that on September 4th, Robertson will be a starter when he steps onto the field, and I do expect him to make an immediate impact for the Tigers. Before we continue to talk about the additions we're making to the 2022 recruiting class, do me a favor and hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. In my opinion, Alex McPherson is the biggest recruit we've picked up so far for the 2022 recruiting class. That's because we've had the Carlson brothers for the past 8 years, and we've really depended on our kicking game, and so this is a huge pickup for the Tigers, because there's a lot of questions out there. What's going to happen once Anders Carlson is gone, once he graduates? Who's going to step in? Could it be Evan McGuire? Maybe. He did not really have the experience in high school like Alex McPherson had. So with Alex McPherson being the #1 kicking recruit in the country, this is a huge pickup for the Tigers. If you don't know, Evan McPherson, who is Alex's brother, is currently playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. So he comes from a kicking family, and I expect to see a lot of things from him. I expect him to come onto the Plains and make an immediate impact. And like I said, I feel like this is one of the biggest pickups that Auburn's had in this offseason so far. There are 2 more recruits I wanted to tell you about that Harsin was able to pick up this week for the 2022 class. The first one is Caleb Wooden. If that name sounds familiar, it's because his brother, Colby Wooden, previously played for the Tigers. Caleb is a 3-star safety coming out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. He was a target of a few schools, including Georgia Tech, but in the end, Auburn won out, and he will be coming to the Plains for the 2022 season. Final recruit we heard about is Micah Riley Ducker. He's a 4-star recruit according to Rivals, coming out of Nebraska. He is the number 15 tight end in the 2022 recruiting class, and it looks like Auburn is finally putting an emphasis on tight ends and tight end play, and I think that's something that's going to be huge under Harsin, something we're going to notice as a difference that we've not seen in the past few years, and I think that is something exciting that we should be looking forward to as Auburn fans, and so I'm excited about Micah joining this 2022 class. It's clear that we're finally seeing a lot of momentum building behind Brian Harsin's program, and so I'm really looking forward to see what he does with this upcoming football season, and I'm also looking forward to how he continues to build upon this 2022 recruiting class. I hope you enjoyed this shorter video. If you liked it, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.